For more on this, let's bring in retired FBI Special Agent Jason Pack. Jason, when you look at those images, not a lot visible of those suspects, but do you think there is enough that somebody's going to be able to identify them?
Yes, John, and I think the key is this early release of the photographs. You know, this beckons the memory of the Boston Marathon bombing. I think Molly Lyon was covering that back in the day, too. The difference here, though, John, is the time of day and the intent, it seems like. So far, because it was early in the morning, it seems like whoever did this, the two people, at least in the photographs, are trying to send a message. But they did it at such a time where they figured that maybe not very many people would be there. When you contrast that with the marathon bombings, just the opposite was true. They wanted to hurt as many people as possible. So that's one of the things that investigators will be looking at. The other two are what other digital and forensic footprints have they left there? So just because you see those photographs, John, of them hiding their faces, they may not have done a great job of disguising their digital identities. And so I think that's what the investigators are going to be looking for today, along with those tips that have been coming in. I just spoke with the FBI's Boston field office just a couple of hours ago. They confirmed what Molly said. It is a very active investigation, meaning their tips are coming in, they're putting those together, and they're trying to match that with the forensic details and the information they've collected at the scene.
I think of the photographs that were released in the Charlie Kirk shooting, and even the suspect's parents saw the images on TV and started saying, hey, we think we might know that guy. Something like this could result in the same kind of situation.
And I think that's the best weapon that police have, is the trust and cooperation of the American public, and trusting them with this information. And of course, the police have more information, more photographs, probably some video that they're not releasing, but just getting these pieces of information out initially will hopefully help start those tips to come in. And somebody, you're right, John, knows who these people are.
But you know, the motive, you set off a bomb inside Harvard Medical School. What's the purpose? What's the point?
Well, clearly they're trying to relay some sort of message. They knew that putting a bomb or an explosion in an institution like Harvard, who is well-renowned and world-renowned for a long time, they're going to know that's going to create some attention. So they knew that was coming. They also, you could talk about the pre-planning. They knew, it looks like they knew how to get out of there. They had covered their faces. So I think along with campus police, the Boston police, and the FBI, they're going to be looking also at maybe some access logs into the building, and if who was around at that time, as well as cell phone and digital footprint, things like I had mentioned before. So I think given that and the fact that somebody's going to know these folks, they're going to be able to get to the bottom of why and who.
And the fact that the FBI is involved, I mean, again, thinking back to the Charlie Kirk case, where the suspect, you know, wrote notes, texts suggesting that, you know, he thought he was going to be an old man before anybody would find out what had happened there. You think that with the availability of the tools that the FBI has, these suspects are probably not going to be on the run for long?
Well, that's our hope for sure. And again, it's not just the FBI, it's the campus police. The FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force is comprised of state, federal, and local officials, and they all work together frequently. So they're no strangers to each other. And yeah, I think for sure that eventually these folks are going to be found out. And the real question is, what are they trying to bring light to? What is their grievance? Is it a personal grievance? Is it something against research that may be going on in that building? Or is it something else? And so I think that's the real motivations that the Joint Terrorism Task Force and the campus police, Boston police, will have to all take a look at.
Yeah, maybe they got kicked out of Harvard Medical School. Who knows? Jason Pack, we appreciate your expertise. Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.